It was early morning. The air was cool and crisp, and in a small wooden house at the edge of the jungle, Detective Max woke up from his soft bed. Max was a big, smart, and very clever mouse, the most famous detective in the jungle. Today, his routine was just the same. He got up and looked at himself in a small mirror. With a gentle smile, he put on his brown detective coat, wore his little cap, and strapped his most important tool, the magnifying glass, onto his belt. In the kitchen, he made himself a warm banana shake, took a bite of cheese toast, and headed toward his office. The office wasn't anything fancy, just a small treehouse with photos and maps of jungle cases pinned all over the walls. Max's work was very important. Every animal in the jungle trusted him. He had just settled comfortably into his chair, when suddenly his special jungle phone rang. Max quickly picked up the receiver.
Detective Max speaking.
On the other side, a nervous elephant's voice was heard.
Max, there's a big problem. Something very important of ours has gone missing.
Max straightened up and asked.
Something important? What's missing, Mr. Elephant?
The elephant took a deep breath and said,
The jungle's ancient golden bell, the one that only rings during the festival, has suddenly disappeared. And the big jungle festival is in just 3 days.
Detective Max thought for a moment. A sparkle appeared in his eyes.
I'm coming right away. This case belongs to Max.
He grabbed his jungle bag, closed the file, and said, Another mission has just begun. And with that, a new mystery-filled story in the jungle had begun. Detective Max tightened his coat and hat, slung his bag over his shoulder, and headed straight into the jungle. Rocky paths, tall grass, and a startling silence. Something felt strange in the jungle today. Max knew this theft was planned. The golden bell wasn't something that could just go missing by accident. He went directly to Elephant. The elephant looked worried. Standing behind him were a few other animals, a deer, a rabbit, and an old turtle.
We kept the bell on the topmost shelf, said the elephant. When we checked this morning, it was gone. But the door was still locked.
Detective Max began by carefully surveying the room corner by corner. He noticed a little bit of soil near the shelf, and a small footprint.
This is the work of someone with small claws. Big animals wouldn't be able to reach up here.
Max thought. He pulled out his magnifying glass. The footprint was absolutely fresh. This mark could belong to a nocturnal jungle animal. Max said. Just then, the turtle spoke up.
I was awake late last night. I saw a shadow near that tree, but thought it was just some monkey playing around.
Max immediately walked over to that tree and began inspecting the area. There, he found a leaf, very fresh, but with a small scratch on it. Max smiled. This case is now pointing toward a clever little creature. Maybe a squirrel. Or perhaps a raccoon. Then Max said,
I need a friend who sees everything that happens in the jungle at night.
He made his way to the oldest tree in the jungle, home of Owl Ustad, the wisest night watchman of the forest. When Max arrived, Owl was already waiting for him. Detective. I knew you'd come, said Owl.
Last night, I saw a small figure sneaking through the west side of the jungle.
Something was shining inside its bag. A serious look came over Max's face. That means the golden bell was taken that way. Detective Max tightened his bag and said, It's time to dive into the darkness of the jungle and chase the mystery. The west side of the jungle was the most frightening. Dense trees, a constant fog, and even during the day, animals were afraid to go there. But Max wasn't an ordinary mouse. He was a detective. He pulled out his torch, tightened his jungle boots, and quietly began moving between the trees. As he walked, he noticed some crushed leaves on the ground. They had traces of golden powder on them. Max looked at them and said,
This is definitely from the bell. I'm on the right track.
Just then, he heard a soft sound. Max pointed his torch in that direction and saw a raccoon. Behind a small bush stood a realistic, clever-looking raccoon. Something golden was glimmering from his bag. Max calmly said,
Was it you who took the jungle's festival bell last night?
The raccoon looked startled but didn't try to run. He slowly pulled out the bell and placed it in front of Max. I'm not a thief. The raccoon said, I thought this bell was forgotten. No one uses it during the festival anymore. I wanted to clean it and put it in the museum. Max looked into his eyes. There was no lie. Just a misunderstanding, Max kindly replied.
Your intention wasn't bad, but taking something without telling anyone is not right. Jungle law is equal for everyone.
Max returned with the raccoon and the bell. All the animals of the jungle had gathered. Elephant saw the bell and tears filled his eyes.
Thank you, Max. Said Elephant, if it weren't for you, we'd never have found the bell.
Max also shared the raccoon's true intention. The jungle council decided. The raccoon was forgiven, but was given a warning. 3 days later, the jungle festival was held. The bell rang once again. Joy spread throughout the jungle, and Max, he stood quietly in his corner, with a smile on his face. Then he opened his diary. Case number 47, solved. Truth found. Peace restored.